Hey, this is Jeffrey Gurian for Comedy Matters TV, here at the Regency Hotel for the movie Union Square, starring Mira Sorvino, Tammy Blanchard, and with writer-director Nancy Savoca. I'm having a really bad hair day, as you can tell, but we're going to have a lot of fun here, and we're going to do the interview anyway. So stick around and see what happens.
Poor Tammy, who thought this was going to be a fun ride. Tammy just loves to work, you know, so she was so excited to have like just a team effort of this small little movie.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be so much fun, and then I'm like in a hotel room crying to Nancy, telling her that Mira is driving me crazy, and I don't know if it's real or fake anymore. I don't know what's going on, because it was really, you know, a tight, close-knit, every day, 14 to 16 hours a day, and you wake up again and you escape into this world with this crazy sister and this situation, and it was levity. There was none. It was just all-out craziness, and Nancy kept all of us sane. Nancy, that's the difference, I think, between, like we were talking, having a male director and a female director. With a female director, they really understand you emotionally, and they take care of those emotional feelings, and they take care of your mental state. And you know, a lot of times the men that are directing you, they don't understand that, and they don't go there with you. But Nancy does, and she keeps you sane as best as she can.
That's because I was like right next to her crying to knock it.
Yeah.
No, but for me, see, I think that poor Tammy did not experience levity at all, and even though people find some humor in what the things that she did, she herself could not, poor thing, because she was living inside this Jenny character. But for me and for Mary, as we were writing, and then as I was directing on set, to me the most comedy's pain. You know okay? What's the formula? Comedy's pain plus time.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Pain
plus time is comedy.
Usually.
Right. So,
unfortunately, that seems to be where all comedy comes from pain.
Right.
The worse your life is, the more the audience laughs.
Exactly. Yeah. And I find so much humor in these really difficult situations that I had no problem finding humor in this, because it's almost like a laughter of recognition. And sometimes the laughter that's in the audience is nervous laughter too. And which I can appreciate that. You can hear the difference in it. So I have to say, I think of moments, you know, I've been at someone's deathbed and never laughed so hard. I mean, it's like that.
It's always interesting to see what people will laugh at. When you do comedy, the lines you think are going to be hysterical, they're humming, and an aside, and the audience is hysterical, and you can't figure it out.
You don't
it's
know.
very confusing.
It really is. It's scary and exciting.
People live vicariously through other people's pain.
Absolutely.
That's
because it's over there.
That's right, exactly.
But then that's when the laughter gets nervous, is when it comes a little closer.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Tammy, you won an Emmy for portraying Judy Garland. Did Liza Minnelli ever see your act? And have you ever met her? Did she ever say anything to you?
She sent me roses this high.
Yeah.
After, when I was about to go to the first Emmys, which that was the time of 9/11, so they were canceled. But and she also came to see How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying, and I went to the Starlight Gala here in the city during that time, and I spent time with her and talked to her, and she was just so grateful.
She's amazing, right?
Yeah,
she's very sweet. Huh?
She's so sweet and amazing, and I just love her.
I was curious to know, because Judy Garland was such an icon, and Liza is so much like her, and so I had a feeling that she would have loved your performance. That's cool.
Yeah,
That's great.
She definitely did.
Cool. Was it hard to raise the money for the film?
No, because we all just pooled her.
Oh, that's cool.
We didn't raise any money.
That's awesome. You did it yourselves.
Yeah.
Nice.
Later
great.
on, we raised enough to shoot it, and then in post-production, as we started editing, we started raising more money to complete it, to buy music rights, you know, and now P&A and all that. Yeah.
But the initial stuff was your own. Yeah.
That's how we got started. We said, if
That's
we
great.
start looking for it, then we got to get approval for this or approval for that.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like,
Yeah,
no approval, we just.
When I saw the film the second time, just recently, I was like, I cannot believe I let them put those clothes on. Right?
Yeah, I was shocked when I saw you today. I'm like, that's not her.
But when you're in it, you're just so like, what do you see? What is she? Okay, let's do whatever you think, whatever you feel, let's do it. But I will definitely from now on be a little more aware.
Can I tell you something though? No, Tammy, I just need to brag about you a little bit. Tammy's got such an intuitive, she's a very intuitive actress, and she's got this thing where you sort of give her like the exterior container of things, and she climbs into it, and then things start to happen. And I think those clothes did something to you, and I know you were in pain throughout, because Tammy could be, as you could see, couldn't be further away from this Jenny character, and when you meet Mira, you will see she couldn't be further away. They actually played against type and are more like the other character, and that's why I think that's what's so interesting. A lot of the tension in the movie is about, because both of these characters are lying about who they are, so everyone's got a lid on who they are, and which kind of explodes kind of at the end of the movie, and that tension of really, I think that's what you were feeling, is just putting the lid on who you are.
Yeah.
You know?
But for a stylish woman to be made to look frumpy, I think is particularly stressful. Wouldn't you agree?
I was so stressed.
You don't want to look in the mirror when you're shooting, right?
No.
Like, this
and
can't be me.
Mira comes in with her big boobs and her lovely personality, and I'm like so tight, and it's just it was hard. It's hard for me to watch myself play that kind of character. I don't think I could watch it anymore.
But it's a testament to your talent, because you did very well.
Thank you.
What was your rehearsal process like? Because I'm interested to hear how you did capture that character, and how much time did you have to rehearse to really own that?
Days did we have? A week of just coming in and reading it at a table. First I had time with Nancy on my own, and she brought me to the loft where we would be shooting, and we read it, talked about the character. I was asking her where it came from, why is she doing it, and questions like that. And then Mira came and we ran through the script a few times or twice.
From start to finish, you go from beginning to end, or just certain scenes?
Kind of like what we
Start
do.
to finish.
Yeah,
Start to
we
finish.
would read it through, and then it would always be interrupted by conversations.
Right, yeah.
Because we never like read it through for the purpose of reading it through to like rehearse like a play that would then be performed. It was really, because I knew that what they were going to do, see, film needs to capture something on the moment. So if we would have gotten it right for rehearsal, I'd be screwed. So
That's an
I
interesting
didn't want
point.
anything to happen
That's very interesting.
beforehand. So it was really about exploring and talking and, just talking around, just circling around it, but
Looking
not
for
doing-
motivation and stuff.
What's this about? Like, and also interesting because on the one hand, your characters really, really know each other as sisters. So, but that relationship is in the past. So today you don't know each other. So it was interesting. It was about laying down the foundation of the past. But
Mira,
it was great.
can I just say, you totally nailed your inner Bronx girl.
My people are from Brooklyn, so I don't know how that
It's
happened.
that other
Well,
country.
I'm from
We
the
don't-
Bronx, and I recognize that. I give you props for that. But how long did it take you? Like, obviously the essence of acting is becoming a person that's not yourself. But how long did it take you to nail a character like that?
Well,
It's so
this is
different
great.
than you.
First of all, it's my third Bronx girl. It's
Oh, really?
odd, yes. I've played 3 Bronx girls. I've never played a Brooklyn girl except in my first short film, The Second Greatest Story Ever Told, where I played a modern-day Jewish Virgin Mary with Malcolm McDowell as the Angel Gabriel. So anyway,
I missed that. I had to see
I
that.
know, it was cute actually. It was very cute. So I had spent a lot of time in the Bronx in the past researching the roles for Sweet Nothings, Gary Winnick's movie with Michael Imperioli. Poor Gary Winnick. May he rest in peace. Poor guy. I ran into him last year. Very, very sad that he passed away. And then for Spike Lee's Summer of Sam. And in all of those, I was an Italian girl from the Bronx. So that part was not so hard. And being an Italian girl anyway from the East Coast is something I know something about. Especially, I'm a little bit quieter in my regular personality, but I have a lot of relatives who are very buoyant.
Well, like your dad, for instance. Your dad breaks out into song. I'm an old friend of your dad, and he'll just sing. Did he do that when you were growing up? Did he just break out into song?
He still does.
Yeah,
I know. My dad, if he doesn't start singing, I mean, he can't help it. And if you're in a restaurant, you better like that sort of thing because he's going to
He's going to do it no matter where he is. I know. I was at a party with him recently.
Everybody's but it's beautiful. He's got an amazing voice. So proud of him. At the age of 65, he premiered at the New York City Opera in the lead role of the Most Happy Fella. And that's a time when most other people are sort of closing the books on their dreams and aspirations and getting ready to slow down.
Mm-hmm.
And he was, starring in an opera, which he had never done before, which was his lifelong dream. And for us to see it happen was so unbelievable and so beautiful and so inspiring. So yes, that's the kind of person he is. But he has a big life of the party personality. I was always the more introspective one of the three kids and kind of quiet at the dinner table.
Great, thank you.
So these are my inner
These are all the people that are
out.
Yes,
I loved it. And Nancy was so encouraging for me to bring, sort of my instincts to her. So I kind of let her take over. She kind of took over me. It's sort of like I've always thought of acting as kind of shamanistic, and you get a little bit possessed by your character. And this character definitely possessed me and would speak through me. It's like speaking in tongues or something. Just like she just go off.
And her character picked up a lot of her clothes.
Yes, her character found
Lucy
her clothes in my closet. So the skirt with the blue feathers, I've had that since like 1992 in my closet. I think I wore it once to a party. And then I held on to it as I hold on to all interesting pieces of clothing. And then I was like, this would be great. And it left a little feather trail all over the side.
In my apartment, I had blue feathers. It was like, the fairy mirror. Lucy was here. Lucy was here.
But, a big part of the personality of the character is also dictated by the bipolar essence. And that was something, I know someone who's bipolar, and it's a special, interesting effect on life that it has, because on the one hand, bipolar people are often extremely brilliant and creative. On the other hand, they're experiencing things in such an intense way that it can be kind of exhausting for them and for those around them. So, and this character especially, sometimes she's so self-absorbed in her moments, like with the phone, and it just takes over. She just walks in, she hasn't seen her sister in 3 years, and she just takes over her house. Yeah, and just as though the sister, as though it's okay.
Yeah.
That her drama just comes in and settles in there. With the inviting people over and screaming and having fights on the phone, and that's the kind of thing that most of us, when we become adults, we want to get away from the drama. We want calm. We can't handle that conflict anymore. It's too much. And then I'm bringing it right back in there, but at the same time, I'm bringing a dose of truth to her, which, of course, I need my own dose of truth, which we learn as we go along, but, there's something nice and refreshing about her rawness and her honesty, so I really enjoyed playing her, although it was hard, because she has to cry all the time. I would be like, Nancy, how many times are we going to cry?
She was worried that she was crying too much. I was like, there's no such thing.
We cut it down a little bit. There were a couple moments that were scripted to be in tears, which we brought down so that we wouldn't just beat the audience to death.
There's a lovely moment which Mira discovered, because the wonderful thing about this movie is that we were able to shoot in chronological order, which was amazing.
Oh, that is a great,
we were blown away. I'm spoiled for life. Blown away by the fact that we knew what happened yesterday. We knew what happened in the scene previous to this one. So as they moved forward, they were actually had experienced everything, and everything became cumulative. And so so as she went along, then Mira would see something like, not able to cry. Why would I do that here? So let's just move on. And it's this and not that, and she would just intuitively move
But you
through.
too, though, you changed whole scenes based on how things had been going.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and
yeah, the tone
you
of
decided to
things.
get rid of some stuff. You know,
Yeah.
you're like, we don't
That
need
was
that
already
anymore.
done because they had already done things non-verbally that was happening in dialogue, you know, sometimes in a scene. So it just, things got pared down and simplified because the reality of the emotions was coming through in a very honest way and didn't need to be propped up by anything.
When you said that you shot it in chronological order, did you mean that you shot it in the order that the script was written from beginning to end?
Yeah.
And what allowed you to be able to do that?
Our biggest restriction in this movie gave us the biggest freedom. The biggest restriction was the fact that most of this movie took place in one place.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a one room apartment, not even a one bedroom, a one room. We
Wow.
had to rent a bedroom there.
Mhm.
So that was the biggest restriction, and my biggest worry was that we were stuck, as I thought, stuck in one place. And then when my assistant director started scheduling everything, I noticed that the numbers were running in order, except once in a while they'd be out of order and then running again. And I just said to him, can you redo this so it's actually pretty much all in order, at least for the first week? And because he's been doing this for a long time, Glenn Trotter, he took this and in 15 minutes he made everything go chronological on our first important first week.
Wow.
And I was blown away by that because I'd never done it before, but I knew what it could do to us, and it's even superseded my expectations. It was, well, especially for something so difficult. We were asking people to come in, Mira especially, to come in and just, you know, just blow through for a while.
Mm-hmm.
And then settle into all these revealing, you know, excavating emotions. And we shot in 2 weeks, 12 days or 13
Really?
days.
Wow.
Really,
Wow.
13 days.
That's
And
amazing.
so to have that pressure on us,
Just think of the page count alone of how much dialogue we had to get through. every
Yeah,
day.
sure. Oh,
your
man.
first day was like 7, 8, 9 pages? Like
The first
that
day was
conversation
the
on the phone.
Well, the first day, but the first day we started inside the store, right?
We truly acknowledge
Yeah, we
order.
started
What
inside,
shopping?
me, you know, manically shopping inside, you know, a bargain store, Filene's, and then going to the shoe store. Well, did we do the shoe store?
That got edited out, but we did do the shoot. No, I think we may not have been. No, we did.
It
We
was
did.
the same day, and
Yeah,
then we go into Union Square Park, and I have this breakup that sort of starts on the phone in the shoe store, walking through the park, and it was just like out of the sort of relative comfort of the store where I start to get upset a little bit, and he, you know, the guy, you can tell that he's sort of blowing me off and not really wanting to see me. And then me kind of forcing the issue and calling him back again and again. Oh, I thought you called. Oh, I missed your call. Oh, I didn't? Okay, well, oh, what?
And you never see him in the film, which is an interesting choice
he
as
was
well.
so mean on the phone.
He was so mean, yeah.
Such a cold, flat, like, delivery to
Right.
me. No, I'm busy. Don't you understand?
Yeah.
I'm busy. You know?
My computer crashed.
Which is even more shocking when you find out that you're married.
I know. Well, you know, I don't even realize, watching it now, I'm like, maybe they really didn't have hardly any relationship, and she's just almost dreaming it all up. The way it's edited now, it feels like it's really all in her head that this is a romance with this guy. But she's walking down, you know, that main pathway in Union Square, and everybody's a part of it. Like, the whole park becomes a part of the scene, and they're all watching and not necessarily all realizing that we're shooting a film because the camera's so small.
So those weren't extras, those were just
It's a
real
fun
street
thing to
No,
look
scenes.
at that
Done.
scene and watch the background players, because there are people, when you walk away after all the shopping bags fall, there's this one guy in particular that I love who just is like watching you leave and not looking at us. He's wondering, what the hell happened to her? And it was
people
definitely
were
about
calling
this.
things out to me. You know, like one of them was like, "Leave him, he's no good." You know, and another one was like, you know, mentioned something about what my
Oh,
clothing
of
or
course,
whatever.
a nice outfit.
And I was like, "Shut up!" But then one woman came up to me. She's like, "Are you okay?" Because I was crying.
Aw.
And I like rounded the corner around our truck. You know, when I was out of shopping, you were still sort of on that
Right.
guy, whatever. And I was like,
We're filming.
It was an interesting choice to use Michael Rispoli as the husband. How did that come about? I hadn't
I
seen
love
Michael
him
for a long time. He's a great
I
guy.
love him.
And
We both worked with Michael and
Oh,
loved
yeah.
him. We both worked with him. I knew that Michael was going to bring in another surprise element. I think it was just, he's so earthy, he's so wonderful, and again, we were talking when Tammy was here that my biggest, you know, my insecurity was, you know, all right, we did a great job, here's the script, oh man, I'm so happy. Now it's like, oh my gosh, I hope I have the cast that I want for this. I hope Mira says yes. I hope Tammy says yes, and scouring a little bit for Michael. I don't think I fell on him right away, but scouring a little bit, And then I think my husband said, Michael, and I went, oh yes, that's him. Because all of these characters can be so,
Italian?
easy to say one, right? So easy to kind of like dismiss as a type, as a
Right.
type. But it's only the actors that come in and give them depth. And Michael, man, can come in for a few minutes of screen time and just put everything in its place, and you suddenly go, wow, she's married to him. And he's not, he's not like a doofus guy who doesn't know what's going on.
Exactly,
He's
yeah.
a wonderful, warm
Human being, yeah,
sweet,
exactly.
and also, and then you start, to me, then it starts showing you the complication of her state of mind. The complication, which to me, everything that's happened to her, however big or small that relationship is with our guy on the cell phone,
Jay.
Mm-hmm.
it's
Yeah.
whoever Jay is in her life is really dictated by her state of mind, and it's something that she can't control. She's really in a place where she's thought she had her role set out for her of being the caregiver for mom, whatever.
Mhm.
And when that got taken, all of this stuff is suddenly like am I a teenager? I'm gonna wear this. Suddenly all this stuff starts happening to her, and it's out of her control.
And it's also interesting that was her choice as a husband, because he's just a regular guy. A grounded
grounding
guy,
person
and
at
that
this
shows that's who
moment
she
has-
was.
She's still flying away, like hopefully, it's very fascinating. Everybody who kind of came on and everything, suddenly it was so exciting for me, and that's when I knew things were going to work.